Foxy, I imagine that in some ways it feels like you arrived here yesterday, and in some ways it feels like you've been here many years. So have been the last couple of months for you. What's it been like?
Yeah, it's been great. I've loved it. I've loved being back here, reconnecting with people that I really like and respect. And yeah, it's been a whirlwind few months, but I've really enjoyed it. Lots of good stuff happening. So yeah, really pleased with how the first couple of months have gone. A lot of work's gone on. And there has been the challenges, of course, when you have to recruit a new manager. So it's been tricky from that aspect, but also been really rewarding that we've managed to get who we want in. And now that the players are back and the training, I feel a lot easier and comfortable now getting to watch them train.
Yeah, more comfortable watching pre-season than participating in pre-season, which can be a bit
absolutely
eventful as a player. But we are almost exactly a month. I think we are exactly a month away from the first game. Things start to feel a bit more real. Do you enjoy this this period of time when that anticipation of that first game is, it's not that far away now?
Yeah, you can see it in the lads' faces. They just want to get the games going now. I'm really pleased with training, the intensity, the commitment from everyone, and how Tom's been able to get his messages across to players, and he's got real buy-in from everyone that's here about what's expected this season. So I've really enjoyed the training part. I'm just looking forward to the games now and getting out there and watching the lads perform. And yeah, that's all you want to do, especially when it's pre-season. You want to stop the runs and start playing in the matches.
We'll talk a little bit about some of the ins and outs and the flux in the team shortly. But in a few days, we're off to Austria for 5 or 6 days as a pre-season training camp. There's a game out there as well. But with a pretty decent-sized turnover of players, something like that's going to be a good opportunity, isn't it? With everyone under the same roof for a few days and training together. It's not just about the physical aspect of pre-season, is it? It's about getting together as a unit.
Yeah, it is. It's a really important part. And yeah, we're really looking forward to it. I think especially the Tom, he's looking forward to getting his tactical messages across. I think that's a really important period in pre-season where you really integrate how you want to play. We've gone through a lot of stuff early part of this pre-season around those sort of key messages that he wants, and then I think when you get out to Austria, you can really hone in on everything and sort of develop that style of play. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. It'll be good to spend some time with everyone, new players, old players, but mainly you've got those real key components to what will be the squad for next season.
From everything I've seen of the base where we're going to be, it looks very picturesque in the foothills of the Alps, but also some great facilities, and it's going to be a good place to be, isn't it, to get prepared? It is.
It's a really good place to go pre-season. I think I've had 2 or 3 pre-seasons in Austria. They've been really good, been tough, altitude and the temperature, but also the facilities are always top notch. So I'm really pleased that we're going there. The standard of the game, I'm really happy with. The facilities are really good. I think when you speak to people, a lot of the Spanish teams at pre-season go to Austria, and we English go to Spain, and it just doesn't. Yeah. So I think it's a really good place to go, and I'm delighted that was in place before I got here, because I think it's a really important part of pre-season.
And a good mix of games as well. Obviously, we're playing Eintracht Braunschweig over there, but Truro and Torquay and Bristol City back here at home park. It's a good mix of sides, and that Bristol City game will be a really good test just a week before the season starts.
It is. I'm delighted with that one. I think that's a really good fixture to have, especially at home park. And then obviously you've got your Troys, your Torquays, which I think are really important for the location and the travel and things like that. I think they're really key games to have. But no, pre-season's gone really well so far. I'm really pleased with the attitude, the commitment, the desire from all the lads at the club. It's been really good to watch.
Let's talk a little bit about the squad then, and the fact that there have been quite a few outs and quite a few ins. It's a lot of change. I don't know if you were expecting as much as that, but sometimes that's just the reality of where we are, I suppose, at this stage.
It is. It's the reality that we have been relegated. I think that's probably there for people to see now, that there is going to be a change after a relegation. I just think that's natural. It's the start of what I'd say is probably a new cycle, which when you speak to people inside the club, it probably is the start of a new cycle now. But that's not uncommon. That's what happens. I mean, if you go back to when I left the club, 2019, we'd just been relegated. Same situation. The club found itself in League Two, and there was a change. There was a huge change with Ryan, with Stephen, with the new backroom staff, and players like myself, Carey, Lamirez, Ladapo, people like Jan, lads that the fans really connected to, all moved on because there has to be a change. There has to be a change in mentality. There has to be a feeling of freshness around the place. And you have to have people that want to be here, want to fight and scrap, and be part of being at Plymouth Argyle, not to be in the Championship. Now, listen, lads that have moved on this summer, some wanted to stay, but we couldn't offer them Championship football, and that's ultimately what they wanted to do. They wanted to play in the Championship, and that's something at the minute we can't offer. But what we can offer is an unbelievable platform to people to come and play and come and really progress and perform. And this club has been littered with players that haven't been standout careers at unbelievable levels, but we give them the platform, the Ryan Hardys that came from Blackpool reserves and hadn't really been on anyone's radar. We give them the platform to perform and to bring the best out of themselves, but you have to be the right character to do that. You can't be here because we're a Championship club and then the first sign of not being a Championship club, you move on. So we want the right characters. We've got that. I believe we've brought the right ones in. And it's important that the next players that we bring to this football club are of the same ilk, that are here to play for the club, for the badge, that are committed to being on the bus with us. And that's a message I've said to all the new players, that any success we have here is on the bus and it's in the changing room. And you're not here for your own personal gains, or you're here for the team. And if you're not part of that, you won't come. We won't have you here. So I think that's a really important thing that the new players have got, and the new players that will come to this club have as well. So yeah, listen, there's been a big turnover. I'm sure it's not easy to look at times, but also the feeling inside the place is that there's a freshness here, and there's people that want to be here, and there's people that are going to fight to be here. And that's when I watch the game on a Saturday at 3 o'clock. I know that every single person at this club is invested in the club, just like I was, just like the people I played with. When there was any success, when I watch the success with Ryan in League Two, when I watch Stephen's team in League One, you know, there's not players in that team in League One that got promoted that have played hundreds of Championship games and came for millions of pounds. But the togetherness of that group, of those characters on the bus, in the changing room, I lean on people like Joe Edwards when I come in here, and the freshness that he's feeling at the minute around the place. It is the start of a new cycle, and we will not have success here if we haven't got the right characters and the people that want to be here. So really pleased with how the first couple of weeks have gone. Listen, I'm sure there'll be more movement. That's just natural. But anyone that we want, that wants to be here, they will all stay.
Should we talk about a few of the players that have come in? Because it's obviously drilling into a little bit about more of what you've said, but their attitudes, their characters, but also their qualities as footballers. And we started with Jamie Patterson, who, you know, is experienced, has played most of his career in the Championship. And I guess signing number one, being him, underpins that thing of someone that's got maturity, that's got good character, and it starts from him this summer. It
does, and he was really keen. He was really keen to come. I think he had other options, but he was really keen to come to us. He's played all his career in the Championship. So to get him on a free transfer with the deal that we had with him, I think it's a really good bit of business to do, especially early on. I was really pleased with the sort of those early signings that we did, because I think they will underpin a lot of what we do this season. He can play anywhere in those front three positions, and he's just got real good quality. He's a good character around the place. I see him speaking to all the young lads all the time, which I think is important. Your Freddie Asakas, your Caleb Roberts, people like that. He has a way of speaking to everyone, which when you do your research on him, good character, good around the place. And we're really pleased that he could get that one done early. He's already in, he's already settled, he's already part of the group as well, which I think is important.
I might pair a two together here. The next two I'm going to talk about who came quite close together, Caleb Watts and Jack McKenzie, both of whom have come through at a club, have got to an age where they feel like they want to move on and develop themselves somewhere else, but also an age where they've got some experience, but they've got a lot of improving to do. They're exciting signings as well. Yeah,
they are, and I think Jack McKenzie especially, I think it's a real big move for him. He's taken a real sort of step out into the unknown, having been at Aberdeen his whole life. He's probably the most self-reliant person I've come across in terms of how he's approached the move. Sort himself out, not high maintenance, gets on with his job. He's tackling goals in training, which I've seen. He's all in. He's all committed. And obviously, he's played a lot of games at a high level. He's come through. He's won a cup final with Aberdeen. So we're really pleased to have got that one done. And Caleb Watts, when you speak to people outside of football, he's probably the one name that people speak about, I think, in terms of good signing, really good signing. So he's really key in terms of how we're going to play. Very aggressive, very front foot, wins the ball off people. I think statistically last season, I think he had the highest percentage of ball ground duels won.
Okay.
He just wins the ball off people. He presses. He's your trigger for getting after the ball. So I really like that dynamic of an all-athletic, dynamic number 10 that wants to press and tackle, and I think fans will warm to him. And obviously with his quality as well. We're expecting him to be a real key part of the team this season.
I'm going to pair another two actually, but Xavier Amici and Bradley Ibrahim have got slightly similar career paths. They're a little bit different in age, but come through an academy, gone off to Germany, come back. But again, they're at points where, and this could go for quite a lot of these, it feels like it's a point to prove. There is,
yeah. And I think their openness to being here was really important. They were really keen on the project. They both signed without knowing who the head coach was. I think you speak to all of these players, they didn't know there's been a change of head, not affected them at all, because they want to be here for us. And I think that's important, that despite the fact, I think Bradley Ibrahim, we were due to do him and then Miron left in between. So all of a sudden you're thinking, I might not want to come, but his conversations were really mature for someone of his age, in terms of he just needed clarity on, do we still want him? Is he still part of? And it was 100% yes. We want him at the club, regardless of who the head coach is. So I think the way he handled that showed a real maturity about him. He had a season in League One last season, so he knows what it's all about. And we feel there's a lot to come in the future, but also he is a now signing as well. He will really influence the way we want to play. But like I say, about all those lads, they came for the football club, and I think that was really important.
Yeah. It was noticeable at one point that there were precious few strikers in the squad, and I know that was the eye of a lot of supporters, that we need to bolster that line. The first one in the door of those was Owen Osseini, and hopefully there'll be more to come on that front as well. But Owen's he's a project, but he's got a lot of great abilities for now as well. He
has, yeah. He fits into the game model that we're trying to implement in terms of speed, athleticism, dynamism. We feel like he has potential to get better with us and to grow with us. Listen, he's not the finished article, and he will tell you that as well. But there's a desire internally to work hard. He's doing his extras in training all the time. And he's someone that gives us variety up front. He can play as a 9, we can play him off the side. I think being left-footed gives us a bit of balance as well in the striker department. And listen, he scored really high level of goals at Gateshead. And some of those chances that he took, we want our number 9 to take those same sort of chances. There will be, build-up play where we have our centre forward in the middle of the goal ready to finish, similar to Ryan, what he did in terms of where he gets his goals from. And we feel like Owen can get on the end of chances that we would like to create. And listen, he's lots to come, but he's someone that was really, really keen to come to us, really wants to buy into the project, as I said. And he will be an important player, and hopefully he will have an impact at some point this season for sure, because he will work alongside the other centre forwards at the club to provide hopefully a balanced mix of forwards that we believe can score goals to get us where we want to get to.
And that is something else that will come, isn't there? More forward options.
Yeah, absolutely. We know we've lost centre forwards in the summer. Absolutely, there's going to be more coming in. They will be replaced. They have to be at a high level. We know that. It's important. And we're doing the work on getting those players in for sure. You don't want 3 starting centre forwards on ridiculous money, because you can't keep them all happy. You need to have a balance. You need to have a variety of different options. But yeah, listen, we're not naive enough to think we can just roll with a centre forward. There will be centre forwards at this club that we believe can get us where we want to get to.
We mentioned it's a month or so away from the first game. That is still plenty of time for there still to be some activity. So there will be some in and there will be some out, won't there, in the coming weeks? That is inevitable. but we feel like we're not a million miles away from where we're going to be.
Yeah, that's it. I think we want to get our business done early, which I think we've done with the first lot. But then the next lot have to be the right characters as well. Mm-hmm. They have to be the right profile for League One to get us where we need to be. They need to be the right characters. Speaking to clubs all the time, speaking to players all the time. But there has to be the right blend with what we've got and what we need. So, yeah, listen, I don't want to be doing our work on the 31st of August, having played 5 games. We need to have those in place by then. But we also can't be making mistakes and bringing in the wrong types for what we're trying to do.
And I guess it's also trying to get to the point where if there is an opportunity to add to the squad, whoever that may be on whatever level, we'll be ready for it.
Yeah, we will, absolutely. There's things there that we obviously need to do, and that'll align with what the manager wants, with what the club want, with their age, the profile. Do we need it for now? Do we need someone that can be great in 6 months, maybe? Do you know what I mean? There has to be a blend of what we need, but I think those next key important pieces will be those that can really impact it this season, going forward, what we need this season.
You've mentioned Tom Cleverley there, the head coach, towards the end. Let's kind of conclude on him. How has he settled as far as you're concerned? And also your relationship between the two of you is absolutely key. It might be one of the most key in the whole football club. How's it gone so far? Yeah,
brilliant. Yeah, no complaints from my part at all. I think we've worked really well together on what he wants, but also what the club have and need, what we're trying to do. So yeah, really, really pleased with that. I think the staff he's brought in have been exceptional alongside Nance. I think they've had a real, because they're young as well, they've had a real energy to everything. I think when you speak to the players, they'll back that up, that they've brought a real freshness and an energy, the way they speak to everyone on a day-to-day basis, I think has brought a freshness. They're very enthusiastic, very engaged with the lads. So in terms of a whole team of coaching staff, really pleased with what we've seen so far. Like I say, they've got their places sorted now. They're all in Plymouth. They're all settled. So I think that's really important, and it's a good point now to go away and really get to sort of nail down those relationships between the staff and the players.
It struck me from what I've seen of Tom around the place is how thorough he is. Everything seems to go into a lot of detail about things. There's lots of meetings between players and staff and things like that. And I know that goes on at most places, but it feels like specifically with him, there's a real attention to detail, which is notable. Yeah,
there has to be a detail. I think that was what really impressed us in the whole process of recruiting him, was his level of detail into what we were as a club and what we're trying to do, and how he buys into that as well. So, he is very thorough. He's very individual based with the players, so he knows what each individual needs to get them better, to produce a team ultimately that wins on a Saturday. And the level of detail is really impressive. The hours that he's putting in to get his message across, the hours that he's putting in to communicate with myself, with Tom Randall, about what we need and what we're bringing in. And listen, I've watched every training session so far, and the level of intensity and togetherness with the group of players that we've got, I've been really pleased with, and I think that comes from the manager and his staff and the enthusiasm that they're bringing to everything.
Well, a month to go until that first game, and then 9 months of madness. We'll see how it takes it from there, but I imagine everyone's as excited as we are, and we'll see how we go. Yeah, no, really looking forward to it. It's an exciting time, and really, really looking forward to the pre-season games, to the trip to Austria, and ultimately to the start of the season, where we want to be fit and ready to hit the ground running and kick off the season in a positive way.